What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the late developers here. I'm recording a video actually surprisingly a lot earlier than usual, and there's a good reason for that. We had some pretty big news. The Fighters tournament recently ended, and in lieu of that, we got a new Dragon Ball game trailer. That's right, Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi. But wait a second. It's not 2005. What the heck is going on here? No, wait a second. This is a remake or remaster or brand new installment. A lot of people are calling it Tenkaichi 4. It's honestly whatever you want to call it at this point. I'm just going to call it Budokai Tenkaichi until further notice because I'm not treating it as a direct continuation of Budokai 3. More so on the lines of God of War 2018, just God of War as well. Right, this is going to be Dragon Ball Budokai 2023, 2024, whenever it comes out. We haven't got a release date yet, right? So, with this game, I'm actually really excited to talk about it, and we're going to be doing sort of like a breakdown video, not of the trailer or anything like that, but just the overall spirit of Dragon Ball games, the history of Dragon Ball games, and more so just the history of this game, I guess, and what we can be expecting. I know it's really too soon to be making a video like this without an actual trailer showing anything off, but because I'm such a big Dragon Ball fan, and I have an extensive history of the Dragon Ball Budokai, specifically the Tenkaichi games, and more like Budokai 3, I can make a fair assessment of some things in the game, just general things, just keep the hype train going. Why are we not going to talk about it when it's already revealed to us? It's not like it's been like a poster or anything like that. It gives us like a full video. Specifically in the video, they showed us like the old Tenkaichi and like clips from like Tenkaichi 3 and stuff like that, not just like the original one. So this is going to be like an overall Tenkaichi. I would seriously doubt they're going to give us a Tenkaichi 2 or 3 in the next like 2 or 3 years. Same thing with like Fighters. If we do get a Fighters 2, it won't be for a while, especially in the hype of this game, right? So while we don't know anything about this game, I can safely make a safe speculation that this game is going to be taking a lot of homage from the original games, right? And this is a big deal to me, and it really didn't set in until like after a while. But you gotta realize that this game is very different from every other Dragon Ball game that have come out in the last, I want to say, 15 years or so. The closest game we've had to a game like this is Raging Blast 2, but what you gotta realize is that this is a PS2 style game coming to the modern era with online play, because there's no way the game's not gonna have online play. Like I said, most of the things we're talking about in this video aren't confirmed, but for sure we're gonna get online play in this game, right? So this is a PS2 style game that you're gonna be able to play with friends, and it's not so much the fact that it's a new game for us to all play together, because Xenoverse had online play, Fighters had online play. It's the fact that this game is going to be the perfect game for all Dragon Ball fans. So for me, Xenoverse was a bit too casual. Like, it's fun when you're going around the story and, time travel and all that stuff, but overall, wasn't really for me in the long run, especially Xenoverse 2. I didn't even get Xenoverse 2, right? And Fighters, if you watch my streams, if you know me in person and stuff like that, you'll know that Fighters absolutely has my heart. I still, up till now, believe it is the best Dragon Ball game to date. That includes Budokai 3 and Tenkaichi 3 and whatever other games you want to throw in there, right? But that game is very committal and it's very try-hard. I will admit that you have to be a try-hard to genuinely enjoy yourself in the game, especially if you're trying to rank up and play against other people. If you want to have fun in that game, you're gonna have to dedicate time to practice. If not, you're probably not gonna have fun in the game, right? And it's a big deal because I had the benefit of starting Fighters during COVID, and I also had the benefit of that, all of my other friends were playing Fighters at the same time. We all started playing Fighters around the same time. So if you're trying to be a random outsider, even if you're one of my friends or whatever, and you're trying to get into Fighters, I'm already at a high level of play, so there's really not much that we can do, and there's certainly not much offered in the story mode, right? So this game is really perfect because it's gonna be a little bit more try hard than Xenoverse for sure, because the fights are gonna be a lot more intimate and the environments that you're interacting with are gonna be a lot more dynamic, as well as the movements and stuff like that. But it's gonna be not so try hard that you're gonna have to like know about frame data and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I do believe that there is gonna be a competitive scene during this game, but the playstyle itself is gonna be much more suited for everyone and be more practice friendly. Like, for example, I highly doubt that this game itself is going to have an extensive breakdown of each character. I'm not saying there won't be guides on how to play certain characters as well as their movesets, but if you're familiar with the YouTuber Tiny Torque, he makes these really extensive guides talking about a character, what's safe, their normals, their supers, how do you properly use them, as well as combo guides. I can see combo guides as well as what characters are like weak to certain things, or even like a move that they can't like necessarily attack after, or if they have special attributes, but it will never be as in-depth as a 2D fighter for Dragon Ball. So once again, I really feel like this is like the perfect game, because I feel like you'll have it where if you want to reach that high level, they'll give you the ability to do that. But if you just want to press square and R2 with some friends, you'll have fun like that too, especially with the roster, right? Because it's less about balancing, so there's more room for just characters, even if it's just reskins, right? I will say, the only downside to this game that I'm seeing so far is that there will be absolutely no music from Tenkaichi 2 and down. Trust me, I know how absolutely fire the soundtrack was, but if you play Tenkaichi 3 or the Budokai HD collection or whatever, you'll have noticed that the soundtrack is completely different from the original PS2 games, and the reason for that is because those games, while they had great soundtracks, all of those music songs on there were copyrighted songs, and that's why they were so good, is because they literally stole like some really popular music. Like literally one of the craziest ones that I know was just like straight taken was September by Earth, Wind and Fire. And if you're gonna take songs like that iconic, you know, you're just asking for trouble. But don't get me wrong, Budokai Tenkaichi 3 did have some fire tracks, like Innocent World. That's actually a song that's playing right now, if this video hasn't been copyright striked, right? But yeah, going forward, I assume there's gonna be a new soundtrack or whatever. But you know what I'm saying, if they want to like mix a little bit of the old with the new, which I assume that this game is really gonna rely heavy on, especially when it goes towards like story mode and tournament mode and maybe the layout. I'd be very shocked if this game had a hub world. That's not really what any game needs. Dragon Ball The Breakers had that. I really feel like this game should really just rely purely on the gameplay. We don't need to, I mean, I can see it because, you know, it's a modern game, you know, especially if like they let you walk around with your actual, which I hope there's no fucking customized characters in this, because there's never, I don't think there have ever been customized characters. You could customize like Goku or whatever, sure, but like I really hope there is no customizable characters, because that always makes a game like this, like an arena fighter, always kind of like get dragged down because you're not focusing actually on the character. But I can imagine you walking around whatever character you want, similar to like how Fighters works, and you can like walk around like as Goku or Vegito or Kefla or Chi-Chi or whatever, and you can have like a kimono on or an angel halo or whatever, you know. I can imagine that. But me personally, I'd probably prefer if the game just had a clear-cut menu. If you want to play online with friends, that's great. If you want to have custom games, that's great, right? So, as far as playstyle, like I said, we haven't gotten any of a playstyle, but I really can't imagine this game looking like Xenoverse, and I can't imagine the game playing like Fighters, where it's super in-depth and you gotta know all these buttons, right? So the appeal of this game and why it's so cool is because it's completely different from how most Dragon Ball games play, right? So the big appeal for Tenkaichi back in the day was like the destructible environments and these large open arenas where you can like go underwater and break rocks and stuff like that. My main concern for this game will be exactly how many players were allowed on the field. So if you remember Tenkaichi 2 and 3, I'm not sure if 1 could do this as well. I doubt it. But you could have a 5v5. In the modern era of gaming, there is no way that is working. I'm sorry, especially if you're talking about competitive play. For one match, I am not sitting there watching 5v5 matches, right? Even honestly, because it's so open world and the characters each have like 3 bars of health, I'm not gonna lie, 3v3s even sound like too much to me, and 2 is like a very awkward number. Like I really wouldn't like a tag team style of it, but just like having the characters switch in and out. On top of that, sometimes if you remember Raging Blast and Tenkaichi, if you had Goku and Vegeta on your team, you could fuse into Gogeta and Vegito mid-game. But I really don't see the benefit of that other than it looks cool in this game, because you know some people just like to do that. They like to see the fusion animation mid-battle, because you know appeal of Dragon Ball is like charging up mid-battle and transforming. That's actually something I felt that really lacked in Fighters to stop it from feeling like the perfect Dragon Ball game, even though I feel like it's like my personal favorite. You know, it doesn't have the spirit of Dragon Ball because you can't really transform in that game. So I do hope there is transformations, and I'm sure there's room for fusion and whatnot, but for the sake of, you know, time, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a 5v5 mode. I'm just saying that I hope for time's sake they allow you to pick how many members you want in a team in custom games so you can have a 5v5. But I hope like the standard is at most a 3v3, but I don't see anything wrong with having single battles and whatnot. So another big question is the roster. Because this game isn't going to be focused on balancing so much, I really can't see why you can't have every character you want here. Tenkaichi 3, and I didn't really play too much of 2, so I'm not sure how much they did it in this one, but Tenkaichi 3 did something very similar to like how Fighters is now, or even Xenoverse, I guess, where you have different levels of Goku. So you have Goku early, mid, and end, and even though there's 2 Super Saiyan Goku, so there's like Goku mid who can transform, and there's Goku end who can both transform into Super Saiyan, their movesets are different. And it's actually crazy enough, the Tenkaichi 3 ranking of characters, like the tier list, actually has certain transformations under the tier of like their base form. So I'll probably pull it up right now, but it's actually interesting to see that someone like after Hyperbolic Time Chamber Trunks base form is way better than his other 2 forms, and it's apparently that makes him like one of the best characters in the game. Same thing with like Vegito base Vegito is on a different level than Super Saiyan Vegito, or maybe they're in the same category, but the fact that they're making transformations like 2 different characters, even though you can transform into that character, they're literally telling you like don't transform into a certain character. I also found it interesting that this is like a fun little side thing, but I also found it interesting that Z Broly is at like the absolute top and apex and whatnot, because I feel like it's like an unspoken rule that certain characters, it doesn't matter what Dragon Ball game it is, just always have sort of like the perfect moveset at all times. And those characters typically end up being Z Broly, Kid Buu, Super Saiyan Team Gohan, Bardock, you know, Vegito and stuff like that, or like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. If he's in any game, he's always broken nonstop. He's like the strongest character of all time, even though like, you know, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan exists now, or Super Saiyan Blue, whatever, and those characters that technically have higher power levels because God Ki ranks higher, like, you know. But yeah, I think I really think that you can basically fit any character you have in the story, and there's a really specific reason for that, right? So like a personal issue that I had with Fighters on release is that they made us pay for characters like base Goku and Vegeta, which really stopped me from like wanting to get the game. And even though like Dragon Ball was like well into the Tournament of Power when Fighters was coming out, we still had to wait till like season 2 for like characters like Jiren, right? And it's actually funny because like I'm actually a base Goku main right now in Fighters, even though I technically never paid for him. Thanks, Junior. This really isn't so much of an issue for me. You know, we've seen characters like Goku Blue in the teaser right now. I assume we're not gonna get like every super recent relevant character. Like, will we get Ultra Ego base game? I doubt it. Will we get Black Frieza base game? I'm not saying these characters can't show up. I'm just saying that I doubt we're gonna get like Gohan Blanco or Orange Piccolo day one. It's very possible that we can get certain characters like that, but every single one of them, nah. See, the thing with this game is that it is a modern game, so Tenkaichi 3, while it did have like the biggest roster in all of video games back in the day, we're most likely gonna get around 30 characters. And once again, this game is not going to be super in-depth. So once again, those characters are going to be like, there's going to be a bunch of Gokus in the release. There's going to be a bunch of Vegetas. There's going to be like at least 2 Gohans on release. So the thing is, though, we are going to get DLC, and I can imagine a bunch of characters just getting into this game. Not too many. Like, I do think that the roster for Tenkaichi 3 was a little too big, and I can see a lot of Dragon Ball characters getting into the game, but will we get like Emperor Pilaf? I doubt it. General Red or Blue? I doubt it. We can get some characters that are really popular and very big surprise. Like, will we get like Grandpa Gohan? That's very possible. But certain characters, I think they're gonna leave out of this game. And the luxury of this game, which is one of the reasons I'm really excited, is because unlike Xenoverse, unlike Fighters, unlike Kakarot, this game is in development and came out well after the anime for Super is finished, and most of the movies have finished. Like, I'm sure we're getting more content. I know there's like another Dragon Ball anime on the way and whatnot, but this is well after the Broly movie came out. I'm sure the game might have been like, you know, in pre-production before it got teased while Superhero was in development, but still, there's not that many characters in Superhero that we really have to like look out for. Like, there's like what, 5 characters, like the Gammas, Gohan, Piccolo, and like Cell Max, if they want to have large characters into this game. We're not really worried about those characters, honestly. So the fact that we have like this game coming out well after certain characters have already been in the anime and they've been fully fleshed out, like UI Goku, Jiren, Android 17, we can really get any character we want from Z to Super to GT. And because it's not a pure fighter, we're really not worried about balancing with this one. Like I said, don't get me wrong, I do think there is going to be some sort of in-depth play with this game for the more try-hard people, but I do think that they're going to be caring about the casual fan. So as far as your favorite character, I know a lot of you are a big fan of Raditz. Like, you genuinely want Raditz in this game. I, for the love of me, can't, you know, understand that. But there's certain characters, even in Fighters, that were left out. Like, Omega Shenron is just not in the game, even though Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is. And I've always been a big fan of Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He's also not in Fighters. So, certain characters, like Turles or whatever, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. With most of these characters, they're gonna get into the game, right? And if they don't, well then Tenkaichi 2 coming 2026 will have them. So, you know, overall, I'm super excited to play this game, and I'm really excited to really share it with you all, because at the end of the day, like I said, I have friends who want to get into Fighters, but they aren't as try-hard as me. Like, they want to act like they are because they're big Dragon Ball fans, but when you're getting down to the real nitty-gritty of everything, the average person is not going super hard with these games, and they just want to turn their brain off and enjoy a Dragon Ball game. Most people are going into this, that I've seen into the community, are excited because they don't have to like play the weird style that Xenoverse have, and they don't have to like actually put too much thought into knowing a lot of things. Most people just really just want to fly around, fire a few Kamehamehas, and charge up, and then they're gonna call it a day. And of course, you know, at the end of the day, I'm a Z Broly main, and I'm probably playing a bunch of Fighters clips as I'm rolling through this right now, just because I don't have anything else to play. I don't have any Tenkaichi 3 footage on me at the moment. But yeah, that's that'll be it for this video. I'm pretty sure I covered up everything I really want to talk about. Like I said, I'm really excited to play this game with my friends, because, you know, Fighters is fun, but sometimes you do want to just, you know, turn your brain off and mash square and whatnot. And that's not a slight to this game. It is going to be what it is going to be, and if it has a higher level of competition to it, best believe I will be part of that scene. But at the end of the day, it is an arena fighter. So yeah, we're approaching the 20-minute mark. I just wanted to thank everyone who watched this video. I'm trying to get this video as relevant as possible. I know there's a billion Dragon Ball Budokai videos out right now. Yeah, but thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, I'd really appreciate you guys subscribing, hitting that bell notification, as well as liking the video. And we have an Instagram and a Facebook, and we stream on Twitch. Schedule's not super consistent, but at the end of the day, you know, I really hope you guys appreciate the type of content that I'm trying to get out to you guys. This video was actually a lot more scripted than like any other video I've done on the channel, but that's just because I'm super excited. Especially like the last video I did was just like all over the place. This one had a bit of more cohesion to it. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm making a 20-minute video on like a 30-second teaser, so you guys have to cut me a bit of slack. So yeah, that'll be it. I'm really bad at exiting a video, so I'm just gonna stop right here. All right, bye. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.